Discovering possibilities and potential with passion every day. This is a TPPN production. Welcome to the iPad Possibilities Podcast, episode number 76. Voice is the future. Well, welcome, and this is another episode of the iPad Possibilities Podcast. And I have a very exciting show for you today. It is something different, something I did not think I'd be covering. It's something that has got me really excited and really passionate about right now. And that's why I'm doing the show. And also why I am doing this episode on the topic I am, which is voice, and using voice as an entry method and navigation method is because recently my iPad has taken a little crash. So my iPad 3G has been slowly fading and getting slower and slower, and today it finally bit the dust. It was a software thing. I believe what happened is I was installing an application and I interrupted it in some way. And it ended up happening where I had an empty spot on my springboard, the home screen. And once that happened, my iPad literally took about 5-6 minutes of the boot. And once it booted, it was completely frozen each and every time. There was nothing I could do to solve this. So this happened the day before I was going to be recording this episode. And as I'm speaking right now, it has been restored. It has been updated to 3.2.1. and jailbroken. So I'll have those thoughts in a little bit here, but yeah, it completely froze. So jailbreaking can cause bad things to happen. So it took all of today to fix this iPad and make it functional again, and that is why the episodes I have been planning have been delayed a little bit longer here. Before I give an update on the different episodes that are coming up, I want to first let you guys know I do now have a pop filter for my Blue Yeti. It's the Blue Pop, and hopefully this will make the audio sound even better. I think every now and then you'll hear a pop on the old episodes, but that should no longer be the case with this new filter. It's a fantastic filter. It was $30, I believe, on Amazon, and it hooks in really well to the Yeti, and it will, I hope, improve the sound quality of each episode, which is really one of my top goals. And also in that aim to improve sound quality, John, the co-host for every Sunday night, has a Blue Yeti on the way. So John and I will both be using the Blue Yeti microphones, which I believe have a great sound quality if you're doing USB recording, as we do a lot of. So John and I will have the same microphone. It'll have that wonderful mute button that I love, which I use all the time during the live show to make sure I'm not giving out weird sounds that I shouldn't be. So John will have that hopefully for this Sunday. It got shipped out via Amazon Prime and should be there very, very soon. So just wanted to send you guys that update about audio and kind of the stuff going on behind the scenes with that. And with that said, let's move on to kind of the updates on the different episodes that I am currently working on. So one of the big ones I'm currently working on is a PDF markup show. So an episode all about marking up PDFs on your iPad. That is coming very, very soon. I have been discovering some fantastic applications for this. Some very unknown applications to me and some very well-known applications. And I believe I'll have some nice surprises for everyone listening. I believe I'll showcase some apps that are pretty unknown, but I think do the job even better than some of the well-known applications. So I've been gathering up promo codes and applications, and I finally have the apps necessary to do this. But because my iPad crashed, I did not have an iPad to try all these out and get ready for the show. So that's why this episode is not the PDF show, and it is the voice show. So 2 more episodes I'm working on currently is a diary/journal show that's coming out very soon. It will probably be the Wednesday episode next week. I'm not sure on that, but it probably will be that. I've got an article I'm writing for App Advice pertaining to that exact topic, which I have finished writing it, and I'm just needing to edit it and get it posted and everything like that. But so I'm really digging this diary and journaling topic. I think it'll be a great show once it comes out. And the final show I'm working on, I believe, I've got some more ideas in my mind, but a FileMaker episode. So I have contacted some people that are FileMaker gurus with the FileMaker user groups, and I contacted the one in Louisville, and I'm going to be setting up some interviews with FileMaker users and how they integrate that stuff into their iPad. And I myself have FileMaker Pro that I got a review copy of, as well as FileMaker Go. So I've got the applications, but I thought it'd be a great benefit to the listeners to have someone that actually uses this stuff on a daily basis, someone that depends on this stuff on a daily basis, and how they use this stuff in innovative ways, and how that may make the iPad an even better tool for businesses, for productivity, and inventory management. So I'm going to be talking to people that actually use this stuff and getting their take on FileMaker for the iPad and FileMaker in general. So that's a very exciting show. I believe will have a lot of benefits for a lot of people out there. So with that said, let's get on to my jailbreaking experiences. So jailbreaking, what is it? Well, jailbreaking, I was intending to do a full series on that, and I still am. I've got some episodes on jailbreaking coming up. That's one thing I forgot to mention. But jailbreaking, it's a way of installing third-party apps not allowed by Apple, and doing all sorts of other things. And I have been jailbroken since the original jailbreak came out for the iPad using the Spirit jailbreak, and that has worked great up until today. And the iPad eventually crashed, and it was slowing down over time. So it was actually a good thing that it crashed, so I can actually start from scratch and redo what I did. And also, it gave me an opportunity to check out this jailbreakme.com deal here. I was a little hesitant and worried about this because my iPod Touch has always failed with this. I've been unable to update my 4.0 iPod Touch with jailbreakme.com, and that's been a huge disappointment, and that had me worried that this might not work on my iPad. So what happened? I updated to 3.2.1. I had to actually find a download link because they've since updated the 3.2.2, which breaks this functionality, which breaks this nice little exploit that allows this. So I found the download link. I first did an update. I wanted to see, can I update my iPad in this really miserable state and have it be good to go? And the update did nothing. It updated the iPad to the new OS, but upon updating, it had that same slowness problem, that same just frozen state upon reboot. And I was kind of wondering, this is a big issue. I perhaps should just restore. So that's what I did. I ended up restoring to 3.2.1, and with that, it was fast. It was like a brand new iPad, and that got me excited because I was getting really sick and tired of this jailbroken iPad being so slow. And I think I've learned some lessons, and I think I will not install some stuff that may have been causing problems in the past. So with that said, it got restored, and it's now running wonderfully under 3.2.1. And one of the cool things, I jailbroke it once I restored it, and it was jailbroken within literally 30 seconds. I went to jailbreakme.com, slide to jailbreak, and it downloaded. And literally, it was 30 seconds. It was faster, I believe, than the Spirit jailbreak. And I think it rebooted once, but it was just a fantastic process of jailbreaking my iPad. So for those that are on 3.2.1, I highly recommend this jailbreakme.com. And for those that don't want to jailbreak, 3.2.2 is out. And this is a update that I think I would hold off on just because you may want to jailbreak at one point in time. So I think 3.2.1 is the way to go for now. So just to give you that option. But so yeah, I've been jailbreaking and hacking today, and right now I'm in the process of reloading all of those audio files that got deleted with the restore process. So it'll be syncing for about 12 hours and then all my iPad back. So that is my jailbreak experiences, and I'm kind of happy about it because I got to test out the jailbreakme.com deal, and I also got to update to the new OS, which has some fixes. So hopefully it'll be an even better, more stabler OS, And I can't wait until 4.0 beta comes out so I can install that and start playing around with all the goodies in there. So with that said, we're 10 minutes into the episode, and let's get on to the main topic of the show. So I can already tell this will be a longer form Friday, Saturday show, but that's all right. So let's get into voice and the iPad and my thoughts in general. So the topic for the day, the main topic, is voice is the future. And I really believe this. I have for some time been using dictation as a means of inputting information into my Mac. And it's been fantastic. So here's my experiences so far. I've purchased Mac Speech Dictate. It is a $200 application that I got from Apple. And I actually used the Mac Mall discount when I went to the local Apple store, since Mac Mall now has a retail outlet. I was able to use that $15 off discount. So I got Mac Speech Dictate, and I trained it. Basically, you train this application to learn your voice patterns, to learn how you talk, and I learned it to do that. And after that, I guess it was a 10-minute process. It started dictating. It started basically, instead of typing, I would simply say whatever it was I was going to type. I was going to say, "Dear so-and-so, comma, new line. I wanted to thank you for the gift, period." And you just start dictating. So one thing is, I've been learning how to dictate over these past few days. So instead of just talking normally, I would instead, insert the punctuation. I would say period and new line and caps on, caps off. And, the cool thing is I was able to, say open Evernote, and Evernote opened. I've been learning all these nice little commands that I'm now just talking to my Mac and using my mouse every now and then, but mainly I'm just talking. And that's become my main input method for my Mac. And I work a ton on my Mac. My day job is working behind my Mac at my house. So I'm behind my Mac all the time. And I always thought that dictation has got to be slower. It's got to be more time consuming to dictate, because speech has got to be slower, right? But I was wrong. I discovered that typing has actually been slower. I'm no longer thinking about how to spell things because it does that for me. I'm no longer have my thoughts on that kind of stuff, and I simply talk to my Mac, tell it what to do, and it understands me perfectly. I have encountered very few errors in the dictation. It's been something that's kind of blown me away how accurate this technology really is, because I've always thought dictation has got to have a lot of flaws in it, and I have not experienced that. It's been phenomenal. It's been something that's blown me away, and it makes me feel like I'm in a new age of computing by simply using Mac Speech Dictate on my Mac. And I know there's a ways to go with this technology, and it will get even better over time. But this technology is based on that Dragon Nuance, that Dragon Nuance technology, and as it's been learning my voice, learning how I talk, and it's been phenomenal. It's been something that's just opened my eyes to, why do we have these keyboards anymore? Are they truly necessary in this new age of voice dictation and voice interpretation? And it's a phenomenal product and a phenomenal way to work with your Mac. You can just sit back and relax and just talk to your Mac. And it's been an experience that I didn't think I'd have with it. So Mac Speech Dictate came with a little mic, but I'm able to actually use my podcasting mic, and that works very well with this application. So that's a little background on how I've been using dictation so far. I've also used Mac Speech Scribe. I have a copy of both of their programs, Mac Speech Dictate now and Mac Speech Scribe, which basically takes an audio file and dictates it for you, or transcribes it for you. So some of the earlier podcast episodes, you'll find in the show notes a full transcription of the episode. I stopped doing that just because it was kind of a big time thing to do. Took a while to set that all up, and I may do it in the future. But so yeah, I've used both of their programs and use Dictate daily on a daily basis now. So that's my Mac experience with this. I know the PC has actually a much better version of this called Dragon Nuance. And it works fantastically. So this is my kind of intro to speaking and why I've enjoyed it so much. It's been something that's made me more productive. It's been something that has sped up my time working with different things. It's made my experience of working with my Mac even more enjoyable. It's been something that has made me feel like I'm in a new century by working with this. It's been just a simply incredible experience using this program. I don't know how I lived without dictating and talking to my Mac. And it's got me wondering, right? This is on the Mac. What about the iPad? What about it? Can we do similar things with that yet? And the answer is no. But I think the future is here. I think the future is dictation. I think the future is talking to your technology devices and having that be your form of input. So for those that aren't familiar, the iOS has two applications for doing this. Both are by Dragon. The first is Dragon Dictation, and that's an iPad native app. And it follows the same commands that I've now been learning on the Mac, such as line breaks and period, comma, colon, new paragraph. And so it follows all those standard dictation commands. So the cool thing is, as I've used Mac Speech Dictate on a daily basis now, it's second nature to talk that way. I just have to worry about when I'm talking to regular people not to say comma, period, new line, and all those different things. That's going to be something I think will eventually come up where I just start dictating the people on accident. But with that said, I've been learning the language of dictation. And that's something that I think a lot of people should learn how to do. They should learn how to dictate properly because it can save you so much time. And I think the future is with this kind of technology. So with Dragon Dictation, you have this free application that as long as you're connected to some sort of internet access, you're able to dictate and write out things through just talking to your iPad. So you're able to write out a letter, say, dear, comma, new line. Thank you so much for your time today, period. It was an invaluable tool for me, period. And you're able to dictate in that manner. Every once in a while, it'll stop to input all the text into your note, and then you can just start again and start dictating again. And you can create an entire letter. You can write your next paper on this, your next Word document, your next thesis by just talking to your iPad. And instead of typing things, you can just talk to it. And as you go through, if you find errors, you can just tap on the word. It will remember what you said and give you alternatives. And it follows all the standard things like new line, new paragraph, space. It'll follow all of the things that dictation has become with their software on the Mac and Windows. So as you learn this way of talking, it becomes an invaluable tool for you on your iPad now. So I found that Dragon Dictation is now one of my dock icons. I'm going to just be opening Dragon Dictation if I ever want to write an email or write something like that. I'm using this more and more. And as long as I'm in an environment where I can talk to my iPad or Mac, I'll be using it. It's great because in the past I wasn't in an environment where I could actually talk to my Mac. I was in a shared living space. But now I have my own room. I'm able to talk to my Mac. I'm able to talk to my iPad. And I'll be doing that more and more because I really do think this is where we're going as technology progresses. This is the future, and it's going to be an amazing future where everything will seem, sci-fi-ish, if that's a word or not. The next application available is made for the iPhone, but it works on the iPad. It's called Dragon Search, and if you simply want to search for something, you could do the Google way, but I like Dragon's technology, so I'm going to use Dragon, and I'm going to open up Dragon Search, and I'm going to just say, a search term. So I'm going to say Chronicles of Narnia reading order. So I'm starting to read Chronicles of Narnia. I'm trying to figure out a good reading order for the book series. I've never read it before. So I used Dragon Search. I opened it up. I just said Chronicles of Narnia reading order, and it instantly came up with a perfect transcription and gave me different search options through Wikipedia, Google, and all the various outlets there. And I could say open up in Safari. So it would open up my regular Safari, and there I go. So I think that's going to be a great way to search for items. And that's just another great way to use voice. So this is where I think Android really has the edge, right? Because this is something they do really great. They integrate voice search, voice entry into, I believe, all the different parts of the operating system. So I'm now seeing the light. I'm now seeing why this is a great thing. And I think this is the next thing. Apple needs to jump on this. Apple needs to either buy out Dragon Technologies or Dragon Nuance, or they need to license it from them. They need to jump on this and get with this whole voice entry, because I think this will be something that it will really take off. This will be something that separates Android from the iPhone in the long term, I think. This is a technology that is desired by many people. I truly believe that to be true. And I really hope Apple will find this as a definite need and take that challenge and do it in a great way. It may not be until iOS 6 or 7, but I think it needs to be there. I think they need to integrate it in a way where, they could have a Mac or iSpeech, where application developers could actually hook into text entry. So we could have text expander. We could have Dragon dictation integrated into the OS level like we do on the Mac. That is something I think needs to happen. I think it will happen eventually, but that is something I think will just elevate the iPad to a new level of computing. And this is something that Android does really well right now with this whole voice entry. So where does Apple use voice entry right now? I think they do some with universal access. They do some stuff there, and that's being something I'm going to research more and more over the coming days and weeks. And I'll probably do an episode entirely on universal access on the iPad, because I think they do it really well. And I'd love to get some. I'm going to try to set up some interviews with people that use it on a daily basis. So this idea of speech everywhere is going to be the next big thing. This is going to be how people input information into their devices. Talking is such a natural thing that people know how to do. People that didn't grow up in the computer age don't know how to type as well. And voice is such a natural thing that this is going to be what will be the way we input text. I truly believe this. And I've seen the light with using it on my Mac, and I think it's going to be huge on the iPad. I think it's the future. I think it's where we're going with this whole technology. And I think it'll be a future like, I'm not sure if people remember the Knowledge Navigator. There's this demo video in the 90s by Apple where you just talk to your computer and it will set up appointments for you. It will give you information. It will input text. So this Knowledge Navigator idea, I think, will come in shape with this iPad. I think we'll have this Knowledge Navigator finally with the iPad. It'll come to light, and I think this really is the way we're going. We'll have faster input, easier input, and a more natural way of doing it. So those are my exhaustive thoughts on voice and why it is the future, why it is incredible, and why I am just simply loving talking to my Mac and now my iPad. So if you are not a dictator or someone that uses voice as a method of entry, I would strongly recommend looking into it. I think it's something that will really benefit your productivity and just ease of use in your life. The Mac Speech Dictate is a $200 application, but I think well worth it. I did buy that one. I did pay for that one, and yeah, they're not paying me to talk about this at all, but I think it's just a great application, and I think learning how to dictate, learning how to talk to your Mac or Windows machine will translate very well over to your iPad, so you can use Dragon dictation even better. And in the future, I believe more uses of this. So with that said, if you want to leave some feedback, you can do that by emailing me at ipadpossibilities@gmail.com or calling in to 209-542-iPad. And if you'd like to support this podcast, you can do that by going to tppn.tv, clicking on the membership tab, and subscribing to the premium iPad Possibilities podcast today. for $2 a month. With that said, you've been listening to the iPad Possibilities Podcast on tppn.tv. This is Tim, and I'd love if you could join us this Sunday night for our live episode.